Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bridge Building with Angela podcast. I am your host, Angela Johnson Ayers, and I want to thank you for joining me today. As always, we start the show with a simple question. What steps are you taking today on your journey to cross the bridge to destiny, or your dreams or purpose, or whatever it is that you want to do in life, or whatever, regardless? It doesn't have to always be a dream or a goal. What exactly steps are you taking just to be happy or to be fulfilled? Today's episode, I want to talk about something from a different perspective, and I want to talk about Lizzo. And the reason I want to talk about it is because I want to challenge you in your thinking with something. When I first saw the images of Lizzo at the Lakers game and the attire she was wearing, and when she started dancing and turned around and you saw her butt cheeks, I didn't want to start and just right out the gate form a judgment or an opinion. I wanted to wait and hear other people's opinions because I wanted to get another view. You know, many times it's so easy to make judgments based on our own existence, life, reality. And I wanted to hear others. And I wanted to think for a minute, right? And one side of the spectrum, many of the comments were saying, she just looks fat and nasty. That's nasty. That's disgusting. You know, who would do such a thing? Why would she come there like that? The other side of the spectrum, many people were saying, look, she's big and she's happy. You know, fat acceptance. You know, I'm big and I'm beautiful. And what? You know, just because my size should not dictate what I wear. So you had two different ends of the spectrum. And then you had the people in the middle ground who were sort of like, you know what? People do what they do. It was inappropriate for an event where there are children, where there are seniors. It's one thing if people pay to see Lizzo in a concert. At a concert, you are there, you performing, you wear what you want. But you were in a public space, and therefore, you have to be mindful. Okay, my opinion was this. And I have two different, and I want to challenge you on. My first thought was, that's indecent exposure. Regardless if this woman were thin or heavy, it's indecent exposure. It had nothing to do with weight. If we were at a park or at a roller skating rink and someone came in like that, we will call the police because there are young children there, girls and boys, seeing this. As a mother, I don't have little sons, but if I had a son who was little, I would not want him seeing a naked woman's butt. And then as a mother of daughters, I don't want them seeing that because I don't want them to think that is what I'm raising them to dress like in public. Again, it had nothing to do with her being full-figured or not. It really had to do with there's just certain things you should and should not wear out in public. And that is one of my beefs with society today, is where the people feel like they don't have any rules to follow. And when you do put rules or stipulations on people, many times they see it as, oh, you're just being judgmental. No, we're not being judgmental. There are just certain rules and regulations that have to take place. For example, if I go to Walmart and the customer service is bad, I'm not going to go there and threaten the worker and do harm to the worker. Even though I could, it doesn't mean I can. You understand? Because that right there, there are rules, there are laws. There's something called an assault charge. You understand? So just because something you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. So that was my first thought, that it was indecent exposure. But I want to challenge you on something else, though. And this is I'm not taking up for Lizzo. I'm not choosing sides. I just want to challenge your opinion in this. I believe that if Lizzo were a thin, voluptuous bodied woman, had a body like, I don't want to say beautiful because beauty is in the eye of the beholder and beauty is relative. But let's say she had a body like a Kardashian or Rihanna or whoever, who mainstream society sees has the perfect body size. And she were to wear that same outfit to a Lakers game, I believe society would have been even more repulsed by it. I do. And some of y'all might be thinking, how? Why would somebody be offended if a woman with a so-called perfect shape wore their butt out in opposed to someone who's overweight? And I'm going to tell you why. I believe it because there are more people in this world who are jealous of a woman with a beautiful shape than jealous of a woman that has an overweight shape. And I believe you would have really seen some real haters come out of the woodwork. Real haters come out of the woodwork if a thin woman would have wore that same outfit with her voluptuous butt cheeks sticking out. Let's say someone, you all remember, this might be dating myself, but there was this beautiful woman named Buffy the Body. Or let's talk about a beautiful Melissa Ford. Now, I do not know Melissa Ford, but I do watch her podcast and listen to her shows. And I do see that I don't believe she would ever wear anything like that to a game at all. But let's say she did. And we know that Melissa Ford has a beautiful body. I believe society would be so pissed that this beautiful woman had the audacity to even flaunt her beauty even more. Why? Because I believe society is even more judgmental, more critical, and has more hate towards someone who's beautiful. We see it all the time. You see it all the time. If a woman is extremely beautiful and has a beautiful body, yes, we like to see it, but those in society who don't have that hate on that person. Do you understand? Let me see if I can explain it better. Have you ever been, let's speak on myself. When I was at 318 pounds, I made people feel comfortable. And I'm going to tell you what that means. I was always the fattest in the room. So in a group of women, even though I always had a pretty face and always knew how to do my hair and makeup, my weight always pushed me down lower than the other women in the room because I was always the fat one. Okay? So you could have me around your husband and not feel threatened. You could have me around your boyfriend and not feel threatened. We could walk into a room and not feel threatened that all eyes are going to be on me. Even though I'm 5'10", I was very statuesque, hair was always nice, makeup was always laid. But when I walked into the room with you, because I'm the fatter one, you felt comfortable. Now, let's speed up time. And now, 2006, I had weight loss surgery. I was at my heaviest weight at 318. 2006, I had weight loss surgery. At my goal weight of 170, because I am so tall, I had reached that goal weight back in 2017. Now, I walk into a room. Then, I am your worst nightmare for some women. And I'll explain it to you. Now, let's take the same group of women. If we were in a room together, and after losing 150 pounds, and we all walk into the room together, and I'm still the same Angela, still 5'10", still have my hair and makeup laid. But now we walk into a room together because my body has changed. Now you have a problem with me. Now you're jealous. Now you don't compliment me. Now you're always telling me, oh, you're getting too thin, you need to eat something. Or now, oh, you think you all that. You understand? Or you don't want to go out with me. Or you always want to, when you do go out with me, you always want to go out and eat. Society, when it comes to women and how we are portrayed, especially as black women, if a black woman is fat, it is seen as comfortable to others. It is non-threatening. It is seen as not a challenge. We're seen as not as sensual, not as sexual. We get it from both sides. Listen, some of the biggest offenders of mistreating me when I was heavier, it was black men. It was black men. And I'm not bashing. I'm just telling you from my experience, black men acted as if I was invisible when I was heavy. Oh yeah, they would tell me, oh, you got beautiful full lips, because we knew what that would lead. They thought it would lead to. You understand? But you big girl, you're so pretty, but if you only lost some weight, I'm telling you, the cruelest people to me were black men. Then the second would be black women. And so I know that the same people now who are looking at Lizzo, calling her fat and she's nasty and this and this. Some of it, yes. I mean, you can like what you like. Everybody's not down with bigness, and that's okay. It, in my eyes, was inappropriate for anyone to wear. But I challenge you to think, if someone with a fit body wore that, some people would have been like, oh, that's thin privilege. You know how we talk about the real ideology of white privilege, because that does exist. There is a real ideology. There's a real thing called beauty privilege. It just is. Beautiful people, studies have shown beautiful people are treated differently. They're treated better. They're given more promotion, opportunity. People will hold the door more for you if you're attractive. I know it because I lived it. Matter of fact, beauty, weight, everything impacted me so much throughout my life till in graduate school. I did my graduate thesis. The title of my graduate thesis was The Self-Perception of Females and How It Affects Job Satisfaction, Life Satisfaction, and Self-Esteem. And thankfully, I got an A on my thesis, and then when I presented it, and I was able to get my master's degree. However, now my master's is in public administration, but we could pick whatever topics we want. And I figure if I'm going to have to shed blood, sweat, and tears on a topic into research for a whole year, it might as well be something that fascinates me. And I was just almost borderline obsessed with the idea that you are treated based on how you look. And at the time when I did my graduate thesis, I wasn't at 318 pounds. I was probably at maybe at 260. I know I was. I was at 260 something, because I remember weighing myself 265. And so I remember how people wouldn't hold the door for me. A lot of times men, white or black, wouldn't hold the door for me because I was coming through. So right off the bat, people are just disgusted by fat. I don't know if it's... And see, unfortunately, I have not traveled to some parts of the world where fat is seen as beautiful or glorious or revered, seen as prosperous. I haven't seen it firsthand. However, having, of course, looked and researched it myself, there are some tribes, in some countries, in various continents, where the thicker you are, it is a symbol of prosperity and wealth. You understand? Okay, but we're here in America where it's not, And so I really believe that if Lizzo had a stunningly perfect, quote unquote, perfect body, we would have seen more women hating on her, not because they felt like it was, quote, nasty. People wouldn't have used those words. See, but Lizzo, when she showed her big behind, people were using words like, that's nasty. That's gross. Her big ass, this big. That's all I kept hearing. If Lizzo were thin, what we would have been hearing is, she thinks she's all that. She thinks she's cute. Showing her behind so men can give her attention. The woman would have gotten hate regardless, but the hate would have been coming from a different place in my mind. In my mind, because Lizzo is fat, the hate is coming from a disgust for just bigger people, unattractive people. I'm not saying Lizzo is unattractive. I'm just keeping it. I'm just speaking now. So just listen to me. Don't DM me. Don't email me, because I don't want to hear it. I'm not going to read it. But if she had that quote unquote perfect body and she had her butt cheeks out, the hate would be coming from a jealousy place with some women. Most women, I really believe it. And the description wouldn't be her big nasty ass. The description would be, she thinks she's cute. She thinks she's better than someone. Do you all see where I'm getting at with it? On both ends of the spectrum, I believe the biggest haters on Lizzo has been women. Regardless if Lizzo were fat, people have been saying, because she's fat, people have been saying her big nasty butt. That's all you hear, nasty. Had her butt looked like Kim Kardashian's butt, or if her butt looked like Buffy the Body's butt, or Melissa Ford's butt, we would never have heard big nasty ass. We would hear, she thinks she's cute. She thinks she's better. That's why she's wearing that. Or she want attention. Do you understand? Either way, it would have been the judgments would have been coming from a negative place. Women who are extremely beautiful and have bodies that mainstream society says is the perfect body get a lot of hate from other women because of jealousy. And then they get a lot of unwanted, sexually charged attention from men because they want to sleep with them. Then you have the other end of the spectrum where fat women, heavy women, who even though they could have the face of a goddess, but because their bodies are big, many times in society, you are hated upon because you're fat. And if a man is checking for you, he just figure, oh, let me just hit it. You understand what I'm saying? Not always. I'm not speaking blanket statements. And again, I know I can only speak from my studies and my experience. I lived the life of a 318-pound woman. I have been big most of my life. So don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, because I know what exists. Heck, I had years and years of negative self-talk because of how people mistreated me and how I mistreated myself solely because of what I look like, because of what I weighed. So please hear what I'm saying to you. I want to challenge your thinking. So what I'm asking you is, how do you treat people who are fat in opposed to who are thin? Now, don't tell me that looks don't matter. That's a lie. You purchase a car based on what it looks like. You purchase a home based on what it looks like. You turn your nose up at certain restaurants because what it looks like in the bathrooms. So you're telling me the person that you would date or that you would sleep with, that you would marry, you don't look at? Stop lying to me. No one's that spiritual. Stop it. I can't stand that when people do that. I can't stand it because you're lying. You're lying to yourself. I believe that we treat people based on what they look like. First, most people do, unfortunately, and they should not. And we shouldn't. I've fallen prey to that. I've done it. I have misjudged people. I've looked at them and thought, man, they could do better. And then when I talk to them, they're one of the nicest, the most sweetest people. And you start to feel a closeness to them. In your bridge building to your destiny, it is imperative that you learn how to treat people. What you say to them matters. How you treat them matters. If you're a man listening to me, please hear what I'm saying to you. If a big woman comes and you see her walking towards a door, don't damn near knock her down so you can get in the door first just because she's big. Hold the door for her, please. I cannot tell you. I wish I had a dollar for every time when I was heavier, how men treated me like I was invisible. Like they couldn't even open the door for me. But then after losing weight, they act like I can't open the door. And I'm probably stronger than most men, some men. And of course, most of them, someone want to open the door for you because they want to stand behind you and watch you walk in. Nasty bastard. But the point is, men, I don't care if that woman is the perfect size 6 or if she's a size 26. Be a gentleman. Hold the door for her. Ladies, if you see a big woman, the first thing shouldn't be, that big bitch. I mean, I'm sorry, you all. I'm going to keep it 100 because that's what you all say. That's what you think. You may not say it, but that's what you think. Or if you see an extremely beautiful woman who's extreme, the body is like banging, don't be like, that bitch thinks she cute. Because that's what you do. That's what you say. I know it. It's what and how you treat people. I'm telling you, it impacts your life. How you treat others, you may think that it only affects the person that you are mistreating. It also does something to you. It jades you. It makes you feel less. And it's not a good feeling, and it's not a good look. With this whole thing with Lizzo, do I wish she would have worn something different? Yes. Not because of her weight, but because as black women, and this podcast, of course, is not just for African American women, but as a black woman, we're already seen so low on the totem pole when it comes to respect and beauty. And it's just a certain light we should carry ourselves when we're in public. And with Lizzo, she's such an accomplished musician. I mean, she can play the flute like a heavenly angel. She already has one up on most entertainers, especially one up on most of those thin entertainers with all the beautiful bodies. I can guarantee most of them don't play the flute like she does, or play any instrument, actually. You understand? So she already has one up on most female artists. So for her then to me, it lowers her value and persona and her elegance when she did that. You understand? Yes, it was one outfit. Yes, she was at a game, but one wrong move, especially as black people, will label us and follow us for the rest of our life. And I guarantee you, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when we look back on her musical history, this image will come up. And it will overshadow her flute playing. It will overshadow any philanthropy that she does. It will overshadow so many other positive things about her message and about who she is. And I just wish that she would have chosen something different. I really do. I also want to challenge us as people. You know, it's funny because when Kobe Bryant, he left out when he had, and I'm sure a lot of other people, when they saw that, they may have taken their children and just rolled out. And so Kobe Bryant, when he saw it, I don't know his reasons why he left, and took his children out. Maybe he was just going to leave anyway. Some media outlets made it look as though he left because, he was just repulsed by it, But any parent would be like, this is inappropriate, in my opinion, because I'd have been like, this is inappropriate. I don't want my son seeing a woman's butt, regardless of if the butt is a size 6 or 26. And I don't want my daughter seeing it on any size woman, because I don't want them to think that that's normal. Because it's not appropriate for a lady to dress. And I'm raising young ladies. I'm not raising thoughts and hoes. Okay? So, what is the wrap up on today's show? The wrap up is this. First, I want to challenge you in your own thinking and judgments with this whole Lizzo situation. If Lizzo were a size 6, would people be in such an uproar over it? And I challenge you that had she been a size 6, people would have been even more would have been angrier. However, the backlash would have been coming from a place of jealousy and opposed to disgust. That being said, I just want to thank all of you all for the support that you all have given me throughout the years with my podcast. I also want you to continue to join me and like me and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And I love getting your comments. I joke when I say I'm not going to read them. I read all of them, the good, the bad, and the middle ground. But listen, hopefully this message today will help push you closer to walking across that bridge in your life, because the takeaway is this: how you treat people does impact them, and how you treat yourself impacts you. Talk to you soon. Be blessed. Thanks again. The Bridge Building with Angela podcast.